Guys, welcome back to 209 Online K-Time, K-Art. So this time we are going to be learning about Vincent van Gogh. Today, Van Gogh's paintings hang in galleries all around the world and sell for tens of millions of dollars. But during his lifetime, he sold only one. His career as an artist lasted just 10 years, but he painted compulsively, producing nearly 900 paintings. Vincent van Gogh was one of 6 children of a Dutch preacher. As a young man, he worked as an art dealer, a teacher, a bookseller, and a preacher. It wasn't until he was 27 that Van Gogh decided to become an artist. His first paintings were muddy-toned scenes of poor workers. He hoped they would make his name as an artist, but no one bought them. Out of money and needing a change, he went to stay with his brother Theo in Paris. He studied painting there and met other artists, including Paul Gauguin. Influenced by them, he began using much brighter colors. This is Self-Portrait as an Artist. This is one of 35 self-portraits Van Gogh painted. Vincent was especially close to his brother Theo. When they were apart, he regularly sent him letters and sketches telling him about his work. In Search of Sun, Van Gogh found city life stressful. He kind of had a quick temper, and that landed him a bunch of arguments. After 2 years, he left Paris and settled in Arles in southern France, where he enjoyed the sunshine and color. He rented rooms in a little yellow house and invited Gauguin to stay. He made a series of cheerful paintings, including several pictures of sunflowers, to welcome him. This is a detail from a sketch Van Gogh made of his house in Arles. The bedroom at Arles. This is one of a series of bright paintings Van Gogh made to decorate the house. He wanted to express absolute restfulness with this painting. Van Gogh was very messy. Sometimes he even cleaned his brushes on his socks. You're not allowed to do that. Gauguin spent 2 months in Arles, but they argued quite a bit, so Gauguin left. Van Gogh's illness grew worse, and eventually he went to a mental hospital in Saint-Remy, where he continued to paint feverishly, finishing about a picture a day, dramatic scenes filled with intense colors and wild swirling lines. Wheat filled with crows. Van Gogh made this painting in the last weeks of his life. Some people have suggested that the gloomy sky reflects his troubled state of mind, but his use of paint shows great control. And these are Van Gogh's paint tubes. He often squeezed them out directly onto the canvas. After a year, Van Gogh seemed to get better, but unfortunately, that didn't last very long, and so he became worried about being a burden to his brother, and he thought that he failed as an artist. So at his funeral, his brother Theo has put lots and lots of sunflowers all over his coffin. So it was a very nice send-off for him. All right, so he didn't have the happiest of lives, but he was a great painter with great creativity, and he used lots of color and different kinds of lines in his work. All right, our second story is Vincent's Starry Night. So this is the Starry Night, which is one of the most famous paintings Van Gogh has ever done. And I think actually recently there was an article online about how Van Gogh was one of the first people to really realize the currents and like jet streams and stuff, and that was what he was painting. So like, he could feel it and see it where most people can't. So this is really an amazing artwork, especially now that we have more background on it. Alrighty, so Vincent's Starry Night. There's a tap at his door, the nurse's voice. "Time for bed, Mr. Van Gogh." "One moment," he calls. "I'm just finishing a letter to my brother." The nurse's footsteps go away. In another room, a patient is yelling and thumping the wall. The mental hospital can be a noisy place, and Vincent van Gogh needs peace. Peace! But at least he has his painting to get on with. And the nurses and doctors are kind. They encourage him to paint. Van Gogh feels that painting is the one thing that will keep him sane. He puts down his pen. He is so sleepy. Today he woke before it was light. He got out of bed and went to the window. There was the great shadowy cypress tree, the moon riding high, and the sky still full of stars. The wind blew from the mountains. The cypress bent in the strong wind, rearing up, bent over again as if alive. thin clouds chased across the sky. What was to stop him going up there among the stars? As he looked up, Van Gogh felt closer to the stars than to the wooden floorboards of his bedroom. He felt closer to the past than to the present. Down below was that little church from his old home in the Netherlands. No, impossible. This was France. This was now. The stars swirled in his head like the thoughts. What a mess I've made of my life, Van Gogh reflects. I'm 36 years old, living in a mental hospital, painting pictures nobody wants. One mess after another. His very first job had been working for an art dealer until he got fired. Then he became a preacher and gave away all his belongings to poor people. He got fired again. Then finally, just a few years ago, it dawned on him. He was destined to be an artist. He worried he'd never be any good. There was so much to learn, but the best place to learn was definitely Paris. He must go there. To begin with, Van Gogh had painted with browns, grays, and dull greens as if the sun never shone and nobody felt happy. In Paris, he realized he couldn't go on like this. The Impressionist, vivid colors lifted his spirit, and Seurat, Van Gogh, loved his paintings. Colors arouse feelings, so maybe if he arranged colors in a certain way, he could give people certain feelings. Joy, calm, hope. He studied Seurat's method carefully. The excitement of Paris was overwhelming, meeting artists, discovering new kinds of art, working hard, hanging out in cafes. Van Gogh dreamed of success, but when he looked in the mirror, a scruffy, penniless artist stared back. Paris was not working out. He must move on. Van Gogh was enthralled by the Japanese prints he'd seen in stores and galleries. Japanese artists, like Hokusai, depicted everyday scenes in rich, deep colors. If only he could travel to Japan! But he was much too poor. The next best place, Van Gogh decided, was the far south of France. In February 1888, he took the train to Arles. Spring came, then summer. Around the ancient town, almond orchards blossomed. All day, Van Gogh drew and painted in the countryside. He worked quickly, not with tiny dabs of color like Seurat, but much more impulsively. That was how he felt about the fields of sunflowers, with their strong, tall stems, flaming yellow heads. Not patient, but unbelievably excited. When you were face to face with a sunflower, its intense yellowness was, he couldn't find the words, but he could try to paint it. Sometimes Van Gogh missed the company of fellow painters. He invited Paul Gauguin, another penniless artist he met in Paris, to join him. He got the spare bedroom ready, hanging his sunflower paintings around the walls to greet Gauguin with a fanfare of yellow. And then the two artists would work side by side, spurring each other on. For a while, things went well, but Gauguin was a proud, difficult man, not the best sort of friend for Van Gogh. They began to argue bitterly. One winter night, after a particularly violent quarrel, Van Gogh was so upset he sliced off part of his left ear. "I'm getting out of here," thought Gauguin, and packed his bags. Alone again, Van Gogh became scared of what he might do next. To be safe, he got himself admitted to a mental hospital. Yes, it was for the best. The doctors would keep an eye on him. Van Gogh feels too tired to finish writing his letter. He was trying to describe what he felt this morning under the stars, but words can't describe it. No, tomorrow he must paint it. He will paint the starry night. All right, guys. See you guys next time.